Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Ask Her About. I'm your host, Pranjay Reddy, and today we're going to be discussing something of great consequence. Consequence of a baby. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a baby. A baby of, wait for it, forensic science and microbiology. Ah, forensic microbiology. That actually sounded better in my head. I hope it sounded good. But regardless, it is an awesome field and it's slowly becoming a field of great prominence. So it is something worth taking a look into and understand how it works, how we all can contribute to that field if we want. So that'll be the main story for this episode. But before we get into that, I just want to take a quick moment and stroll down memory lane. And by memory lane, I mean last week. The reason I say memory lane is because even though these things happened just a few days ago, it seems like forever ago. Now, the point I want to make is with regards to the environment, and I'd like to highlight one event specifically which happened the past week. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you must have covered this, and if not, well, do cover the story the floods in Germany and Belgium. Recent reports suggest that almost up to 150 people are dead or missing, and there could be more. That's the fear. Now, this is part of an alarming trend which has been happening over the past few years. Yes, you guessed it, climate change. But it's not as simple as we think it is. It's not just these freak incidents which happen. And even these freak incidents, their frequency is increasing alarming. And these extreme weather conditions can be pretty bad. And they might not just affect us in one way like these freak incidents, but they can also affect us in minor ways. For example, just last year, a record 55 million people moved from their hometowns or places because of extreme weather conditions. I know, 55 million people. But the crazy part is this happened last year in 2020, the year in which the global pandemic was at a rage. That's insane. So it's time to start taking this seriously, and it's a legitimate problem. And that is why I wanted to take a quick moment to highlight this in this week. Now, coming back to our main story, the baby, uh, forensic microbiology. Now, the reason I keep referring to this field as a baby is because it genuinely is. It's a relatively very new field, yet has a lot of potential, which is what I'm pretty sure most people say about babies. The reason it could become a very crucial field in the upcoming future, because forensic science in and of itself is gaining a lot of popularity. And that means forensic science is, as a field itself is expanding. Now, forensic science deals with everything on a micro scale, which is, something we can't see. But that also means a field such as microbiology becomes of the utmost importance. And people are now starting to realize, hey, forensic microbiology, that's a thing. And that's something which could potentially lead to a lot of problems and solutions. So I thought it's worth taking a moment and dive a bit deep into this field. But as with any dive, we need a guide. And today, that guide is Dr. Mohammad Azim Bagban. He is an assistant professor in microbiology in CU Shah Institute of Science, with one of his foremost research areas being forensic microbiology. Well, they had a chat, so take a look. Dr. Bhagwan, thank you so much for joining us today on Ask Our. It's a pleasure to have you. How you been? How's this, year been treating you?
Hello, Pranay, and thank you so much for giving this opportunity. It is very interesting to giving an interview for your channel, and I'm very happy. I'm very glad to giving an interview.
Now, obviously, there's so much to talk when it comes to, research and when it comes to microbiology per se. But I just want to start with the notion that when there's so much to study in this world, what piqued your interest into the micro universe where you felt like, hey, I want to study something that's so small we can't even see with our naked eyes? What piqued your interest in microbiology?
That's a very interesting story. Actually, if we talk about the past, in 1600 years, people were not aware about the microorganism. At that time, people were thinking that whatever the living life is there in the world is coming from the non-living thing. That was a theory of abiogenesis. And after that, so many microbiologists have done effort to prove that theory of biogenesis, that whatever the organism, including us, are coming from the living cell. For that, so many microbiologists have done their effort and their practical. So they have ultimately proved. And after the discovery of microscope by Robert Koch, and after that, people came to know about the microorganism. In the beginning, when the microorganisms were observed for the first time, they were given the name animalcules because they were the moving body. And after that, some scientists have named them, given the name as a microorganisms because if we go with the definition of microorganisms, so the microorganisms are the microscopic organisms which cannot be seen by the naked eye. Nowadays, after COVID-19 pandemic, we people are, even if we can go with a layman, then he is actually aware about what is bacteria and what is virus. So that makes a very interesting thing to that people gain interest in the microbiology after 2019. So I'm very happy that people have gained interest in my subject.
I mean, it is kind of, I mean, obviously we as human beings only react when we have a crisis mode. So I guess it was, at least I'm happy that people know what it is now. Like, seriously though, it common knowledge is far better on microorganisms right now than it is before. That's a good thing, which I'd like to admit because of this crisis. Nevertheless, so that is your interest, and I'm pretty sure that's how your interest was peaked in it. Now, can you give us a few examples of, now, as we talked about, yeah, people are aware that bacteria, viruses, how microorganisms are now, but can you give us like a few everyday applications where people don't even know, wait, that is the techniques which are being used?
Yes, exactly. The thing after COVID-19 pandemic, people are actually scared. They are thinking that microorganisms are our enemy, viruses are our enemy, bacteria are our enemy. But they don't know the actual applications. Before 3000 BC, people are using the microorganism without knowing that they are using the microorganism in normal food products and food technologies. Like people were making a dahi, that is a curd, since the so long centuries, right? But they were not aware that curd is a product of microorganism. Without microorganism or without bacteria, curd is not possible. So there are so many fields. For example, if we talk about the agriculture microbiology, so if I, as a microbiologist, I'll tell you one thing, that without microorganism, this world is not possible. So many facts are there about the microorganism. For example, so many people are unaware that if we talk about the green plants, those who are making oxygen for us and giving us oxygen, right? So no, so this is not a very well known that for making an oxygen, microorganisms play crucial role. 50% of the oxygen in the world is made by green algae and cyanobacteria, and 50% is made by the plants. So the major role is by microorganisms for giving us oxygen. So they are our helping end also. Apart from that, there are so many applications of microorganisms. For example, if we talk about in agriculture, in biofiltering, in enzyme technology, whatever the medicines we are taking, guys, that for example, antibiotics. So antibiotics are also the product of microorganism only. Almost all antibiotics have been prepared from microorganisms. Microorganisms are releasing the secondary metabolite from their body, and we are using as an antibiotic to kill the other microorganism. Apart from that, nowadays microorganisms are used in renewable chemicals, renewable sources. For example, there are so many bacteria which are degrading the plastic. And as we know that plastic is a major problem on earth nowadays. Apart from that, there are other applications like biofuel is the another application of microorganism. Food industries is a vast range of using a microorganism. For example, if we talk about the dairy products, so many people are, if the young people have joined this YouTube channel, then they might be eating the pizza, right? And the most important topping of the pizza is cheese. So cheese is also a fermented product, and without microorganism, the production of cheese is not possible. So cheese, butter, almost all the dairy products we are consuming are actually the product of microorganism. Microorganisms are playing a major role for the production of such type of products. So without microorganism, I don't think our life is possible. Without microorganism, I don't think the whole earth and the environment that the on earth we are living is not possible.
That I completely agree with, because they make up such vast parts of our ecosystems, are how our whole world operates by now, and I'm pretty sure that would be the case even if,
yeah, this was just a glimpse.
Yeah,
This was just a glimpse of the use of microorganism. But if we go in detail, then we can write a whole book on the applications of microorganism.
right. And sticking to the applications of microorganisms, something really caught my eye, which I didn't know actually existed, or I didn't know was in use right now, which was forensic microbiology. When the field of forensics, which is, I'm pretty sure all of us know field of forensics is blood and crime scene investigation, but microbiology seems to be a big part of that as well. So that is something which is pretty unique, which I thought was pretty cool, honestly. So can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure. If we talk about the forensics, so in our country, in India, whenever the people are thinking about the talking about the forensic, then they are like CID. CID is
Yeah.
forensic, a crime investigation. They are like the crime occurs. Now we have to go for the investigation. But what the forensic works in the real field is completely different than shown on the television and the TV shows. That part of the work is completely different. We have to go in each and every detail of that particular evidences to find out. And if you are making a single mistake for submitting an evidence in the court of law, then that could be the releasing point for the culprit. Right?
Right.
He can be saved, no matter he has committed a crime. So it is a very sensitive topic. And forensic is a very sensitive field that it could save someone's life, or it could make someone's life in danger also. So if I talk about my journey in forensic, so after completion of BSc in microbiology, I have joined MSc in forensic, and after that I want to remain in microbiology. So if we talk about the forensic microbiology, so it is not a separate field. It is a part of forensic biology. See, forensic science comprises all the subjects. They are having the different divisions. Whenever you are visiting any forensic lab, if it is a state level forensic lab, or if it is a national level forensic lab, or if you are visiting any forensic lab at abroad, they are having all the division. For example, they are having forensic chemistry division, they are having forensic physics division, they are having forensic biology, forensic ballistics. There are different divisions in forensics. So microbiology is a part of forensic biology. In our country, the National Forensic Science University that run in Gujarat and Gujarat Gandhinagar, they are having a forensic biology division. But let me tell you very clear that none of the university in India is providing such courses in forensic microbiology. Now, how I came in this particular field, it is not a particular field, but I applied my research, a PhD research with application of forensic science, and I have mixed the both, microorganism and forensic science. So my topic was a microbial interference in forensic investigation of biological samples. We people are normally what happen in forensic crime scene investigation, whenever the crime occurs, most of the time biological samples will be there. In homicide, suicide, rape cases, right? Blood will be there, hair will be there as an evidence, saliva will be there, semen will be there. These are the four major biological evidences. Whenever the forensic person reaches to the site of the crime, it took time, almost 1 day or 24 hours. Now, my research was like, if the forensic researcher or forensic investigator is taking this much of time, and that particular evidence or that particular biological sample is remaining at the crime scene without any cordon or such like that, no matter the forensic biologist or forensic investigator is collecting the sample very precisely in an aseptic manner that no contamination could occur. But during that period of time, the crime occur and the collection of that sample, that time is very crucial. So microorganism may interfere in that investigation. Microorganism may rely or may change the properties of that biological sample. For example, in my study, what I found that microorganisms are producing a toxin from their outer body. And those microorganisms which grow on blood or saliva or semen, they actually degrade the particular sample. So ultimately, I'm just giving you a simple example. If the person is having a blood group AB blood group is there, AB is given by the antigenicity property of the RBC cell. So that particular RBC is having both antigen A and antigen B. Now the thing is, what I found in my study, that if the on a crime scene blood group AB blood group blood is there as a evidence, and some microorganism used to degrade A antigen. So after collection of the sample, if you go with the analysis of blood grouping, you will find only B antigen. So it could be considered as a blood group B,
Right.
but the actual blood group was AB. So this is how the microorganism play a crucial role in degradation of biological samples. And we frankly speaking that nowadays people or the microbiologists as well as the forensic people need to go in deep with this, because microorganism I found in my study also was degrading the DNA sample also.
Right.
They just require the nutrition. Whenever they are getting the nutrition, wherever they are getting the nutrition, they will grow on that. But the thing is, if the certain microorganisms are there, which we are considering as a pathogenic organism, so pathogenic organisms are having that capability that they can produce a toxin, whether it could be exotoxin or endotoxin. And that particular toxin plays a crucial role or may interfere during the investigation. So we have to take care while collecting the samples, and we have to explore this field, because as this field of forensic microbiology is not given a particular name, forensic microbiology, and it is an underrated field. So people who are authorized and government should think about it to make it as a separate field apart from the forensic biology, that forensic microbiology, which could be very helpful to solve the crime in a very proper manner.
So a lot of points to cover there, and this is something pretty interesting and something I'm pretty sure a lot of people would not have thought about before you said stuff like that, about especially how microorganisms can have a major role in interfering with the sample collection as well. Now, have there been, in terms of forensic science, in terms of history of forensic science, have there been any cases where such interference has been reported where, maybe because of that, the wrong person was caught, or is that possible? Has that happened?
Yes, definitely. Not in India, but at least in foreign countries, I have seen so many case studies in which when the forensic investigator were relying on a blood grouping, I'm talking about the 90s era, in 1960 or 1970, I found so many research papers that forensic people were relying on a blood grouping, as a blood grouping is unique to the person.
Right.
At that time, even the surface, for example, if you found a blood group, or if you found a biological evidence on a surface, like for example on knife is a stainless steel, made up of stainless steel, but that particular surface also affect the growth of microorganisms. And there are so many case studies in which the real accused person or the culprit have been saved because of this false submission of the false submission of the report of biological evidence.
Oh, that's I guess, well then, the prevalence for this only comes through more people knowing about it, and I hope that happens at least in the next 3 years. Like, I hope you can how ensure that people know, because at the end of the day, the more people know, the more they'll ask questions relating to that particular subject. And I hope,
Exactly.
yeah, and I hope that happens, and I really do, because it is pretty important, especially when a person's committing a crime. I think that there should be no mistakes there, like you said. And so
Nowadays, people are committing a crime by observing the crime source. That in crime source, they are showing that how they can be saved. They are not aware about this part of the forensics, that microorganism could be a part to make them save also, and to make them in prison also.
Right. So I do want to talk a little bit about how that can help catch people. But before that, I want to know, like, how can a person, let's say you did your PhD in microbiology and MSc in forensic science. Like, let's say a graduate student is coming out from microbiology. How can that person be a part of this?
See, to become a part of this forensic microbiology, you don't need a specific degree. Especially in my case, if I talk about myself, my PhD was completed in life science subject, but the topic was related to forensic science. So if you are doing MSc with microbiology, if you are doing PhD with microbiology, you can choose the topic related to the forensic science. it doesn't matter you require a specific degree.
I see.
You don't require a BSc with forensics, you don't require MSc with forensics. Even after completion of BSc with biotechnology and after completion of MSc with biotechnology, you could choose your PhD topic with regard to the forensic science and the application of microorganism or application of biotechnology in forensic science. You could choose that. So for completion, to enter in this field, you don't require a specific qualification or specific degree in forensic science.
So I guess it's all about the type of research that person wants to do that can put him or her on that path of being a forensic microbiologist, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So that also begs the question then, what kind of skill set, like you said, you're a forensic microbiologist, but what kind of skill set does a person need, or would a person be equipped with being a forensic microbiologist?
Only two things. One, he could belong to the science subject, and second, he must be a curious. A curiosity makes more interesting the subject. That forensic science and microbiology is always about the curiosity. If we talk about both the subject, the forensic science and the microbiology, you will find always something new. If you go to the research, if you go with the Google Feeds, if you go with the Google News or research updates, you will always find a very new research every day. So these both are the subject that you will find something new daily. So you just require a curiosity. That's it.
So I guess that's also because it's one of the more rapidly growing fields. Like it's one of the more younger fields, like you said, right? I think that contributes to there being something new found every day. Can that be said?
Yeah. Yes. Because of the applications. The applications are increasing day by day.
That also
Exactly.
makes, yeah, please go on, please go on.
If we talk about the vaccination, now the government has allowed the vaccination, the production of vaccination. If we talk about the production of vaccination, so vaccination is also a product of microorganism. Vaccine is also the product of microorganism. So due to the vaccine production, hike in the vaccine production, increased demand of vaccines, that also provide opportunities to the young microbiologists to grow in this field.
So I guess like in any research field where curiosity, or rather just I personally believe to be a better human being in life, curiosity is needed. And that's a really underrated skill nowadays, in my opinion. But staying on forensic microbiology, so we talked about, how a lot more talk needs to be going on about this field because, a lot can happen which we are ignoring straight up in forensic science. So what do you think the growth of this field can be, and how can the growth be progressed, in your opinion?
See, as I mentioned earlier, that you don't require a specific degree to go in this field. If you are applying for a forensic technician or forensic laboratory scientist, you don't require a specific degree in forensic science. Yeah, you need a training in forensic science, but you don't require a specific a degree that you must be having a master's in forensic science, you must be having PhD in forensic science. So there is a vast growth in this particular field. Now, if you are not aware, let me tell you one thing also which is very interesting, that forensic people are not just pick on the forensic laboratories. They can do their private work also. They can become a private investigator also. And apart from that, nowadays, a large industries, for example, the Reliance Industries, they are recruiting the forensic scientists for documentation examination. They are recruiting. Apart from that, the oil factories or oil industries, they are recruiting the microbiologists also. So it is like it is not a single field, it is a vast range of field, and the applications are not stick on the forensic laboratory or crime analysis only. The other applications are industry application also in this particular field.
I see. So if I can sum it all up, it's like being a forensic biologist doesn't necessarily mean you only thrust in that one particular position. No, it's a world of opportunity for based on how you want to proceed as just as a forensic microbiologist, or as maybe, something to do with your specific skill set which is needed. Can that be said?
Yes, we can say that.
Well, I guess if for people watching, I guess that's a wonderful end for, understanding what this field encompasses and also your potential growth in this particular. I think that's a well way to put it. So, Dr. Bhagwan, again, thank you so much. It was wonderful, like talking about, stuff which is like really insanely cool, but I don't think a lot of people know. So yeah, that was wonderful.
That's a hidden secret. Microbiology is always a hidden secret.
That's a wonderful way to put it. So thank you so much for joining us again. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranay.
And that concludes the interview. And as you saw, there's a lot that could be done in this field because at the end of the day, it's still a very young field. And so your contributions could be a lot more impactful if you're a part of this. And it is a damn cool field if you think about it. You don't have to think about it. You just heard about it. So that wraps up the video for this week. I hope you liked it. And if you did, do like, share, and subscribe somewhere here. And do watch some of our other videos, which will again appear somewhere where. So, until next time, stay safe. See you there.